Hello, and welcome to the No Pricks Allowed podcast with your host, Aaron Buchner from Cactus. I'm Wendy McConnell. Hey there, Aaron. How we doing today?
I'm doing well. We have a little bit too much fun before we get into these podcasts
Yeah.
and record. I think one day, next one we may just have to you just hit record, we go on, and we'll just keep this stuff just as blackmail against each other.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's already threatened to go to my boss today at least once. So we'll see how many more times I'll be threatened with that before it's over.
It's only because you're mean to me, Wendy. You're mean to me.
Well,
No, you're
you
not.
like
You're
it.
not.
I mean, I'm meaner to you than any of my clients. So you are very special, Aaron.
I'm- I will take it. I'm special. I love it. I will take
Special.
it.
Okay. So, what are we going to be talking about today?
We're going to talk about lifestyle creep.
Okay.
You know, lifestyle creep, lifestyle inflation, lifestyle creep. There's two different terms for it. I'm sure you've heard one of the two phrases, haven't you?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure which direction you're going. Is it just like when you make more money, you spend more money, or is it you're just outspending what you are currently earning?
Little bit of both, but more lifestyle creep, the fact of as you make more, you're going to spend more. The old adage of, I just got that promotion, I'm going to go spend that extra raise I got, those couple $100s a month, I'm going to go spend that on something else because, well, now you deserve it. We're going to talk about that whole thing.
The car you've been looking at, you had your eye on all this time?
Well, of course, you've been slaving away, damn the man, and, it's about time you reward yourself after 5 years of that bad boss. It's fair, isn't it? Isn't that always a good thing? It's the way it's supposed to be.
I very rarely deny myself anything, Aaron, so you don't have to convince me.
See, and this is where I hope, Wendy, you would learn something from all these conversations, but it does, nothing lands.
Yeah. We've been very tight this summer. I got to tell you, and it's really helped shape my habits, shall we say,
That's
that I have been forced to not spend like I have in the past. And it made me realize that I can actually do it. I can actually not spend ridiculously, and I'm not dead. I'm okay. I'm still alive.
You're still alive. You're still happy. There's a smile there at least, or maybe that's just because you had to deal with me, and that's just your only highlight of the month is the weekly conversations you get to have with me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm special. We talked about all that.
Very special. Very special. So, but yes, it's rubbing off on me. So I'm the state of affairs is that I knew all this already. I just didn't pay attention to it. It's more fun to just buy what I want, right?
Well, of course. Well, yeah, it makes you happy, right? It's that big. Just going out and you walk by the ice cream shop and go I'm gonna go buy myself some ice cream because I can.
Now I want
to
ice
feel
cream.
good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so what is it that I'm doing wrong and that I need to correct so that we can I can be the example for the people.
You could be the example.
You can come at me. I'm ready.
But you know me, I'm not a person to tell you you're doing things wrong because finance shouldn't hurt and financial advice shouldn't make you cry. Just like you said, you just went the whole thing of you're being forced. I'm like, that doesn't sound like fun. Who's twisting your arm behind the back that you can't go spend money,
Well, the bank, when they you're like, you don't have any money left.
Okay. All right. We'll go back to that. We'll worry about your issues another day. We'll do one special issue of Wendy and we'll do a breakdown tier episode full of tissues and cries. We'll do that one
Thank
time,
goodness.
Right?
So
Thank goodness.
what
Okay.
is it about then that this lifestyle creep then that we've got to watch out for?
Yeah. So with lifestyle creep, like you said, it's that usually it's presented in that fact that it's when you get that raise. So now it's something that you were never able to have before, and now you can afford it. So I deserve it. I want to go buy it. But I want to put it as another thing of it's not always just a pay raise that can have these effects that you can get this lifestyle creep from. Everyone thinks this always just only happens when there's that raise. But I would look and go, there's other things that can affect it too, such as when you just feel you're worth it. Like if you just went through a hard time at work, or you went through, I know there's people who do them are like the no spend months, where they don't spend anything for a whole month. So they basically almost starve themselves for a month. At the end, you're like, I deserve it. I went through this hard time, this difficult time. And you're like, nope, I'm doing it. I'm buying it. It doesn't have to be the car or a house. It's just spending money on those things because it's like, nope, I want it. That's it. I'm going to reward myself with it. And then I would say there's other times. Like, is there a time, Wendy, when you had, you know what, I deserve this. I'm going to go spend it. I know it was Amazon Prime the last 2 days. Did you have that feeling of I deserve this? I'm going to spend it. Work is difficult. Aaron's being a nuisance.
Well, there's special deals. I mean, am I supposed to pass up special deals? I mean, I really have been very good with Amazon this year. And I just wanted to get a couple of cute little pickleball skirts. And I did. I did.
Always the pickleball. Always the pickle. I gotta remember, it's always the pickleball. Every single time, the pickleball skirts.
I need a lot of clothes.
Do you now? No, we're not going to go down that.
What I wear most often is those clothes.
But you see, it can be major life events too. Is the fact that if you are having a child, you may look at your house and say, this is going to be a small house. How are we going to raise our kid in this? They carry a lot of stuff. If you're just in a 2-bedroom house, 2-bedroom house is enough for a kid. But if it's pretty tiny, you may look at it and go, we need a bigger space. This kid takes up too much room, and your living room is now just the toy center.
Right.
You're going to want to probably go spend a little bit more money. And it also can be that fact of, I look and go, we're in retirement. Most of the people, sometimes they are always focused on retirement and everything they've done and go like, I want to go spend this money now. It's retirement. Are you supposed to enjoy yourself? Those are are they the golden years? I can't remember if people say it's the golden years, but I'm free now of the work. I'm going to go do what I want to do. And they go lavish to the extremes, like with vacations and trips and cars and furniture, and they just spend. Is that your goal? Is that your idea, Wendy? Is that your goal?
No, I don't want to run out of money. I mean, I think I'm going to be smarter in retirement than I am now.
That's good. So it's not just when we look at lifestyle creep, it's not just the pay raise, it's just life events at different times. Like I could probably think of a bunch of other times where you're like, oh, I need to do something else, or I need to move. I can go, if you're in an apartment and you get a dog, you might be like, I need to get a house now because my dog needs an area of their own so I don't have to go to the creepy park or anything of that. If the park's creepy, maybe have a nice park by and you don't spend. But it's a lot of lifestyle times when lifestyle creep happens. But I think a lot of times when we talk about lifestyle creep, they always paint it as something bad because it's always painted as this almost living paycheck to paycheck. So you move from where you are comfortably, you've made more money, and then now you're still living paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
It's always
Instead
presented
of
that way.
putting the extra money away, you've now just upgraded your lifestyle to continue to have to live paycheck to paycheck.
Exactly. Now, it's the fact of it, like, is it always bad to upgrade your life? I would fathom not always, depending on your situation and what's going on. Like, if you were living paycheck to paycheck and you had, let's put a hypothetical on you, Wendy. This is fun. Let's play with you and see where your crazy mind goes.
I'm ready.
We'll play hypothetical. Okay, so you just got a raise, because you do a wonderful job here, and I'm not going to tell Matt that you're a bad host. You're an amazing person and you deserve a raise, and I'm going to push that button on him. I'm very special.
Yes, you are.
Sure. But he gives you that raise that you overwhelmingly deserve. And you go buy that new Mercedes that you've talked about all the time. Yeah. People would usually think it's bad, but what happens if that car you've been driving currently is a hunk of junk lemon that you have to take to the shop every month for a new repair or a new fix? Did it actually a bad expenditure on money to do that? Was it the wrong choice to upgrade your life on that raise?
Well, I mean, it depends because, you don't need a Mercedes. I mean, any newer car will do, right? Because a Mercedes is going to be probably double of
Yeah.
what a regular type car could be.
But if you can afford it, it's with the raise, and now you don't have to worry about a bad car. I would say, you know what? Is it really the worst thing out there?
Well, no,
Yeah, not so much.
if I can afford $800 a month payments, then sure. That's just my guess. And I don't know how much they
This is
really
your guy. I don't know either. I don't know. I'm not in the car. I'm not a used car salesman. I know.
Yeah.
I don't know those
I
things.
would want to use one. I would like a new one, please.
Oh, you gotta get the shiny new one, leather interior, heated
Yeah.
seats, heated steering, the whole. Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
Then we have a different problem with you, Wendy, if that's the case.
Oh, I have very special problems. That's for sure.
But and then we could say other things like, is it a bad thing? Like if you get that raise and your current living situation isn't the greatest, you may have a rental place, but it's not the greatest. It's a bad neighborhood. Is it a bad thing if that allows you to purchase that house in the better neighborhood? Yes, you may still not be able to put more money aside or save, but is it a bad thing?
No,
to do
because
that?
you're getting something that you want, something of value. Plus, it's going to be an asset eventually because you're paying on a mortgage instead of rent, and you're going to live life better.
Yes, exactly. So I look at it that way. And yes, we're painting it on extreme sides of, okay, this is bad and this is good. And it reminds me in my head of, I was watching it earlier this week, was like the whole Donnie Darko and love and fear spectrum. It's how we talk about a lot of times of, oh, this is when it's bad and this is when it's good. But we're across that whole spectrum. And like, you can't lump it into, if you spend money upon a raise, is lifestyle creep inherently bad or inherently good? It's going to depend on everyone's situation, given what their current situation is and where do they move to in life. But I think my whole thing is, I think mine always breaks down to, as long as you're not going into debt over it, it's not the worst thing in the world for you. And if there's a plan ahead, so if you get that raise and want to buy the Mercedes and can still afford it and can still put money away, is it the worst thing? No.
Well,
You're not going into debt over it, are you? You don't owe more to the bank than you already currently do.
well, I mean, theoretically, I do because now I banks I have to pay. But yes, I get what you're saying.
Maybe you're just a bad example here,
Well,
Wendy. But
no, I'm difficult. I mean, there's really no getting around that. I'm just difficult.
But you've embraced it. You've understood it. That's the key. That's the first step. Isn't that always admit you have the problem?
Yeah,
That's the
I
first
mean,
step.
but I'm also fabulous. It depends on when you catch me. I'm delightful to be around, or you just don't want to be around me at all. But you never know which one you're going to get.
Oh, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. I haven't seen the bad side. I don't think I want to see the bad side.
You really don't.
You really don't. We're kind of going off some weird tangents here with you.
Yeah.
But it's never always bad and always good. I look at it and go, in the end, what does it do? Did it upgrade your lifestyle from your situation to improve your lifestyle one way or the other? Not just I'm spending the money for the sake of spending the money. Did it allow you to achieve something better in your life, such as getting a better, more reliable car that now you don't have to worry about fixing it constantly, so you can go to work or do those other things you want to do, or moving out of a bad situation in terms of a rental to a house and a better neighborhood so you can be happier and more relaxed and enjoy your life. I wouldn't say those are bad situations. And in the end, it's always going to come back to what is important to you. Like, how do you want to spend the money and is important to you? Yes, I could say you get a raise, you should 100% put that all into investments and save and retirement and focus 100% on that. But you might be like Wendy, who wants to go buy some pickleball skirts and look cute for this year. And that's more important than you then putting that extra $300 away that month into the investments for
Okay, the
retirement.
skirt was $14. All right, I'm still bargain shopping. All right, I don't think $14 is going to kill me.
Okay, so now it's all coming to light. Okay, so expensive cars, Mercedes, good. Not expensive clothes. So it's not designer brand clothes. It's still just just the basic requirements.
Amazon brand.
No idea how good quality those are. I've never bought any of those.
Yeah, so you know, I would prefer to have the best of everything, but I do not have the wallet for that.
But then that's where it says you understand what's important to you and where do you want to go. And at that point of having that more money, is you know what you want to do. You know what's important to you. And some people, depending on the situation, may say, I want to focus on retirement. They might be at that point of like, I can only do 10 more years of this, of working in general, and I need to get out of it. So they're going to put a greater focus on retirement and investing versus other people is like, I love my job. I love what I do, but I want to travel more. And they'll spend the money on the travel. Does it mean either one is right or either one is wrong? No, it's going to depend on the situation.
Yeah. So where do you come down on the side of coffee out every day? Because that's always just a big, debate. Supposedly millennials are poor because they have lattes every day.
No, that's not. No one's going to become rich if they stop drinking lattes. Go enjoy the latte. We've talked about this. Enjoy your coffee. I fought it today. It's kind of funny. I was tired today. My kid had me up early this morning, and I was up late last night because I couldn't sleep. And I wanted coffee, and I drive by taking them to daycare and then my other kid to camp and then stopping at 2 grocery stores on the way home because we're out of food because they eat too much. And I drove by like 6 coffee shops and it was hard. Like, just, do I need that coffee? Do I need that coffee? It was hard to say, but I knew I didn't need it. And I had coffee at home. I had a whole pot at home waiting for me. So if I hadn't made that pot, I probably would have bought the latte.
Okay.
Probably would have indulged. I'd had to get one for my wife too, because then she'd be upset at me if I came home with a nice coffee and she didn't have one. So then I'm spending more money. But then it's like, well, if I'm going to get the coffee, then it's like, oh, wait, I got to get a snack with it. So I got to get a donut with it as well. And then it's like, oh, wait, but now my kids are going to be upset if they see the wrapper from me having a donut. So now I got to buy more donuts.
Oh, my God.
For the
Just
kids.
no.
So this becomes a problem of it. It's not even just a latte. It's like, this becomes like a $25 expenditure.
Now, this reminds me, and, this is off topic a little bit. Do you ever watch the show called The Big Bang Theory?
I have seen, yes, many episodes.
Okay, so there's a scene between a husband and wife on that show where he's like, "Did you stop for coffee?" She's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, you think how's it feel to be queen?" And she's like, "You know what? I bought you a brownie, but I ate it in the car." You're right. It's like when you go there, you're like, well, now I got to get something for the other people in the house, and they're going to be mad. So, yeah, coffee turns into, oh, my gosh.
It's about understanding what's important to you. And if having that coffee is something you need on a daily basis, buy the coffee. $5 is not going to make you broke and not be able to live, but it's spending money on other things that aren't important to you. That, yes, if you're doing lifestyle creep in the fact of trying to keep up with the Joneses and just like, oh, well, they bought the car, so I deserve it too, and I need to look just as fancy. Yeah, but you don't care so much about the car, then we're going to have some issues down the road. So it's also understanding to ignore all the noise that's out there, ignore what the neighbors are doing, and stay true to yourself and what you enjoy and makes you happy is always important in terms of everything.
Well, of course, that's easier said than done, as is everything. Everything is easier said than done. But yes, you have to, be secure in yourself and, not look for others to validate you in order to not fall for the keeping up with the Joneses,
Yes. Yeah. Well, and there's other things like I look at and go, you could fall into this trap, which I can see people falling into is people talk about the budget and using the 50, 30, 20 method. So 50% first fixed, 30 for lifestyle, 20 for investing. If you have a current budget and you're maintaining that 50, 30, 20, and you get a pay raise, well, doesn't that mean therefore it's not going to offset that budget? So shouldn't I spend more on the house as long as I'm still spending 50 so I can upgrade my house and put more on that 50? But they're going to constantly upgrade their house constantly and buy things that maybe is not as important to you.
I think the bigger issue is, do you know anybody that's spending just 50% of their income on housing now? I mean, what is it in reality? Like 70, 75?
Yeah, say yeah. By the time you get your houses and your bills and everything
Oh, yeah.
else, like a lot of people are struggling with like 65, 70 right now, and that's
Yeah.
an inflationary issue and cost of just living. Like I said, I just bought groceries, and that stuff blows my mind how much I bought. I think milk around here is almost $7. I think we got it for on sale for $5 for 4 liters, and I'm like, but I think normally it's around $7 right now.
Yeah, I don't know how much 4 liters is. I
That's
also
it's
know
three bags. Oh yeah, bags of milk.
your milk is in bags?
I'm a. You know this, Whitney? Do I need to take a pause? Do we have to take a pause from this so I can go run upstairs and show you a bag of milk?
No, but please have it ready for the next recording because we gotta see. Yeah, we have them in like plastic containers.
Plastic gallon containers. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
ours is still comes in bags, so we still go
Ew.
that way.
We've never had milk in bags. Still, that's weird. Okay, but you guys also, everything's a little bit higher on your side of the border than it is on ours.
Yeah, everything's a little bit more expensive. Yeah, we're not gonna talk about. We won't go down that road.
Okay.
Complaints.
Well, no, I watched Love It or List It, and apparently they all take place in Canada.
Oh,
Yeah, prices.
Vancouver and Toronto, and they're.
Yeah, I mean, their houses are always over $1 million.
Oh, it's expensive to live out there. Yeah, it's expensive around here as well. Don't worry.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so we do have the inflation, and we do have that people are paying a little bit more than 50% to cover their bills every month. So that means that you kind of have to reduce the lifestyle a little bit, reduce the savings a little bit, or pick one or the other,
Pick one or the other. Yeah. It always comes down to the whole thing of I look and go, it's the life of regrets when we talk about spending and what you can do. It's either you can forgo all those things you enjoy and save and invest everything, or don't invest anything but enjoy it. And it's that double regret of I lived my life too great and now I can't do anything in retirement, or I didn't live my life great and I've saved everything for retirement. And it's that you're playing that difference between two evils, and it's almost that same thing of when you get into lifestyle creep. It's that, okay, which one do I do? Do I invest and not raise my lifestyle, or do I enjoy my lifestyle but not invest? And you're constantly on that battle front all the time of that lifestyle of regret, of like the life of regrets, always there, sir.
Yeah, it would make the most sense to kind of split it a little bit, right? Because, we don't want to not have any fun at all right now, but we want to make sure that we're secure for the future. So, we can figure out some sort of split between the two, right? Because you have to save. I mean, you have to save.
You have to save, and it's going to be everyone's different. You look at people who love the FIRE, the whole financial independence, retire early. They'll invest everything and their goal is going to be 100% investing. But for some people, it's just not fun. It's not enjoyable. Like I remember, I think it was, we were still living, oh God, this is a lot. Time flies. I'm going back in my head right now. And I'm like, this has been like almost 15 years ago now. But when I lived just outside Toronto in the GTA and Whitby area, and someone made huge headline news because they bought a house in Toronto. And this is before prices skyrocketed. But they had bought a house in Toronto and it was still expensive. I think at that time it was like $700,000, which was an expensive house in the area because you could get good houses for $300,000 at that point. But he paid it off in 3 years. And like it was like the biggest news ever. Like here's this one guy living alone, paid off a $700,000 house in 3 years. And people are like, well, how did he do it? And they all wanted to know. And they wanted him to, somebody wanted him to write a book about it. I don't know if he actually wrote a book, but then it came out of how he did it. And for his 3 years after he bought the house, all he did is he worked overtime every single time. He never went out with friends. He never went out to movies. He never ordered out food. He lived off of ramen and tuna was basically his dinner and lunches and everything for the year. Apparently he did stuff like he turned off his electricity at like 4 p.m. every single day. He like went to his whole breaker and like switched it off so he wasn't paying electricity past like 4 p.m. Like he lived a frugal lifestyle. And I'm like, I don't think anyone wanted to live that life. Like they were expecting to have some like magical crystal ball, and it was like, no, it was like you live a bad, like an unfun life for most people, and that's not fun for me. Like I look at that and go, that's a lifestyle of regret. I just lost 3 years of my life living like that just to pay off a mortgage in 3 years. And like, is it really worth it in the end?
I don't know. 3 years. That's only 3 years. Pay off the mortgage. My goodness. That's very alluring. I like that a lot.
Well, that means no more pickleball outfits. You understand that? And no more playing pickleball too. Like it's everything. Like it's done. Yeah,
No.
Exactly. That doesn't sound fun, and I don't want to do that.
You're right.
Yeah. So a lot of it, what it comes down to, it's what's just important to you. It always goes back to the whole budget thing of issue. It's understanding what's important to you and what do you want to achieve. Some people are okay with it. Some people look at it and go, I can do that for 3 years to pay it off. Great. That's what they want to do and save the money. Go for it. Like if that makes you happy and you're okay with it, I don't want to do it. I want to still have life. So I still try and find that balance between having the life I want to enjoy and still putting money away for investing and just understanding, okay, the money I can spend, what do I spend it on that's important to me, and don't put it on things that don't make sense. So I still buy my coffees because it's still enjoyable. I'm going to buy my coffee even though it now costs me like $25 because like I said, I got to buy one for me and my wife and extra donuts and
and all of that stuff. Absolutely. All right. So basically tell me what we're supposed to do now. Tell me what is the main point of this whole episode?
Yeah. I think in the end, it's lifestyle creep's not a bad thing. I think it's painted as that broad picture of if you get a raise, you should invest it 100% and not upgrade your lifestyle. I think there's nothing wrong with upgrading your lifestyle with a pay raise or a new job, as long as it's still on a par with what you are focusing on for your lifestyle. Where do you want to spend the money and what is important to you to still enjoy your lifestyle, yet still invest for the future? I think it comes down to as long as you're not going into debt. That's the key thing I look at it sometimes. Just don't go into debt over it. Don't go spending money and go into that large house that you can barely squeak by as long as groceries and inflation doesn't get higher and then you can't afford it. Don't do that if you can help it as much as possible. And we say help because it's hard not to buy it. Houses are expensive right now. So I get it at the same time. Because in the end, it's finding that balance. It's like, even if you can afford that $2 million house, you can afford it. And it's like, okay, it works for my budget. I can do it. But does it mean you should get it? Does it mean you should buy that $2 million house if you're okay with the current house you're in? Do you need to upgrade it? Not all the time. At the same time, you don't have to go live in a van down by the river and live off of ramen noodle and tuna and not enjoy life at the same time. It's finding that balance between enjoy life today and still invest for the future because eventually you're going to need that money.
So
we all
be
have to
smart
stop at some point. Be smart. Yeah, I get that. There you go. There's the wrap in a pretty bow. What's my thing? Just be smart. That's it. Right. Financial advice for today. Be smart. That's it.
You're a genius. All right. So, Aaron, if people have more questions, how do they get in touch with you?
If people have more questions on how to be smart, they can reach me at prickfree.com, or I can always email me at aaron@prickfree.com. And I'm on the social media everywhere, and those will all be in the show notes. So everybody knows how to reach me all the time.
All right. Sounds good. Well, thank you for listening today. Please like, follow, and share this podcast with your friends. Until next time, I'm Wendy McConnell.
Thank you for listening to the No Pricks Allowed podcast. Click the follow button to be notified when new episodes become available. Visit our website at www.prickfree.com or give us a call at 613-876-9899. And don't forget to click the follow button to be notified when new episodes become available. The information covered and posted represents the views and opinions of the guest and does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of Cactus. The content has been made available for informational and educational purposes only. The content is not intended to be a substitute for professional investing advice. Always seek the advice of your financial advisor or other qualified financial service provider with any questions you may have regarding your investment planning. The contents of this podcast do not constitute an offer or solicitation for residence in any other jurisdiction where either Aaron Buchner and or Sterling Mutuals is not registered or permitted to conduct business. The opinions expressed are those of the authors and do not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Sterling Mutuals, Inc. Mutual funds provided through Sterling Mutuals, Inc. Commissions, trailing commissions, management fees, and expenses all may be associated with mutual fund investments. Please read the prospectus carefully before investing. Mutual funds are not guaranteed, their values fluctuate frequently, and past performance may not be repeated.